Namaste. So, grounded in Brahman. We come across this phrase in our analysis of Śaṅkarācārya's teaching, that every existence, especially every being, is grounded in Brahman. What does that mean? Well, first of all, let's check the dictionary. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, grounded means mentally and emotionally stable, admirably sensible, realistic, and unpretentious. So this is more or less a psychological definition. It really applies to the personality, the ego. But it is of use in our work as well, because one should be grounded in the idea, I am Brahman, aham brahmasmi. What does that look like? Well, to most of us, we think that the reality is the physical existence, right? The material world. But the problem with the material world, well, there are three problems. It's impermanent, unsatisfactory, and not self. Because it's impermanent, it's always changing. How can we be grounded in something that's always changing? It's like trying to stand up in a fast-flowing river. The current will knock you off your feet. And the same with this world. If you try to establish your identity in terms of this physical world, the changes are going to always knock you down, isn't it? And of course, the biggest change is death. So this world is unsuitable for a ground of our being, because it's also unsatisfactory, means it is a cause of suffering. It doesn't give us satisfaction. Rather, the opposite, dissatisfaction. So because it's unsatisfactory, we can never be fully comfortable in this world. So again, it's not a good medium for grounding our existence. And finally, the material world is not self. It's different from us. It's material, it's conditioned. It's temporary and unsatisfactory. And the self is the opposite. The self is eternal, always fully satisfied and full of bliss. And, of course, it is our very nature. So, actually, we are always grounded in Brahman. So, what does that mean from a spiritual or philosophical standpoint? Let's go back to the dictionary again. Look at ground. Definition 4b(2). A basic metaphysical cause. And what do we mean by metaphysical? Definition 2a. Of or relating to the transcendent, or to a reality beyond what is perceptible to the senses. See, grounding in the material world is easy in the sense that it is perceptible. So we can say, this body is me, and I live in such and such a town, and whatever, and feel, at least temporarily, that we are grounded. But the body is going away. The town is probably going to change a lot. The people we're in relations with are going to change and or go away. Nothing is permanent here. If there is a suitable ground of being, it has to be transcendent. That is, beyond phenomena, beyond the perceptible world, beyond what is perceivable to the senses and mind. We can only get a vague idea about it. But through meditation and sadhana, we can experience it directly. And this is the point. This is the real meaning of being grounded in Brahman. Now, in our recent study of the logical axioms of Śaṅkarācārya's Advaita teaching, we came across this one. Axiom A2B, unique absolute grounding. For whatever Y that exists, there exists exactly one A, such that A is absolute, and A is the ground or condition of Y. In other words, every existent being has exactly one absolute ground, one and only one ground of being, and that is the absolute or Brahman. So we are already grounded in Brahman. Why do we need to go looking for another ground in the world? Because these are all going to be unsatisfactory. This is the solution to the problem of feeling like we're wandering through the world without any real meaning or purpose. The existentialists nailed it when they said there is no exit from this ungrounded ontological condition. But they were wrong because they did not accept or admit the possibility of a transcendent ground. And indeed, the ground of a conditioned being has to be an unconditioned being, unlimited, eternal, omnipresent, omnipotent, Brahman. That is the only possibility. Otherwise, if the world goes away, so does our being. But that is not the case, because it is stated in the scriptures that the jiva, the being that is incarnated, that takes birth, the Atman, the soul, is beginningless, uncreated, and eternal. So what kind of a ground would such a being have to have? Even though it's conditioned, it's individual, it cannot be rooted in the material world because of its temporary nature. It can only be grounded in Brahman, the eternal spirit, the omnipresent, omnipotent, absolute.
Tat Sat.